Hello and welcome. So today it's not really a Tim and Amy live podcast, but it kind of is. We're just going live from the car. I didn't set it up to be a proper podcast. Didn't do nothing. This is behind closed doors. We're showing up as we are. We just came off a date night yesterday. We had a beautiful getaway. We were on our phone minimally. We just tucked away for the day because we've been working really hard, and we are going to be have a lot of things coming up. We're going to be super busy the next little bit. So we are rolling on a date night, looking fresh right now. But yeah, so our date night, in case you're curious what we did. So yesterday we went to Sensi Spa. We were at the spa all day. We zenned to the max. At the spa. It was so nice. I did about 3 different rituals. I love the rituals there at Sensi, and ended off on a crystal bowl sound healing like sauna session. It was so beautiful. Anyways, we zenned out. Then we went to dinner at River Pub. We love that little pub down there. Great healthy food. Like it says pub, but it's not pub food. It's really nice food. And then we went to the Bear's Den, our favorite place, a little getaway in the woods. It's literally a tree house in the woods in somebody's like backyard. She has like acres and acres and acres, and you're in this little path in the backwoods, and it has a fire stove and 1 bed and a couch and a sink, and that's it. You have to go in the outhouse, but it's a really clean, cute little, she has it all done up nice, and there's an outside shower. Beautiful little spot. It's our favorite place. We love to tuck away in the woods. So that's where we are right now. So we're charging our car right now. We are sitting here at the charging station at where are we? Best Western in Bridgewater, charging our car right now, just so we can make sure we have enough charge in the car to get home. So Tim's just interneting at the moment. But what I wanted to talk about today is I just had this thought. I woke up with this thought because I get people asking me this. This is based on, like, people ask me these things all the time, and I love kind of just sharing my opinion, I guess. So I wanted to talk about being in multiple network marketing companies. So I have different thoughts around it. I guess when it comes down to being in a multitude of network marketing companies, I guess it depends on what you want your I can't even speak. What you want your network marketing company to do for you. What do you want from it? So if you're somebody who just wants to be a salesperson and sell things, then I don't really see it as being a problem if you want to be in a bunch of companies. I do know a lot of people like the thought of having something for everybody. They want to have they like all these different things. They want to sell a bunch of different things. They want to be able to satisfy all kinds of customers. And if you simply want to sell, then I guess, like, no harm, no foul if you want to be in a bunch of things. But I'm going to say a but there. But if you want to sell a lot and you want to really get people to like, know, and trust you with what you sell and to believe in you, I do think you might want to not do like a whole bunch and like pare it down a little bit, because the consumer still wants to be able to trust you, right? And so you want to make sure that you really are showing up passionate about what you love and what you're doing. We can get into later. I'm going to get into later into being in a like bunch in the past, and then like, you know, like if you're a network marketing company hopper, I'll get into that after. But what I'm talking about right now is being in a bunch of companies at one time. I do think it kind of spreads yourself a little thin if you're in a bunch of different companies at the same time. Because I know from my experience, I stayed in one company for 9 years. And before that company, I was in about 10 different companies. So I jumped from company to company to company to company, and I found the one I liked and I stayed put. I'm going to talk about that after. Side mark that for later in this conversation. I'll touch on it today, but just after. I know what it takes to gain trust with people to be customers of mine in the one company I'm in. And I know how much work it is to do the marketing, the follow-ups. Like, I don't know, for me, people that are in multiple companies, I don't know how they'd keep it straight. Like, I'm not somebody that has spreadsheets and paper. I can't even, spreadsheets to me is like a different language. It's like I'm looking at a different language, so I can't do spreadsheets. So maybe people that are really organized could have a bunch of different businesses and have spreadsheets for each of their, you know, potentials and follow-ups and customers and all the things. I don't know how people could do it. This is just pure personal, my personal opinion, and totally no judgment whatsoever, because I know a lot of people enjoy being in multiple companies because they want to be able to offer a lot of things. Let's talk about if you want to build, though. If you want to be a builder, you want to build and you want to have a team and you want to lead, and if you have goals of being a top leader, I strongly feel that there's no possible way that you could be in multiple companies and be super successful in all of them. You may spend more time in one and rise to the top in one. I would really like to hear from somebody, if somebody here is a top leader, like a 1%er in their company, and they're also a 1%er in another company. Because the companies would never allow it, for one. Once you get to a certain level, your company makes you choose. So that's not even a thing. So, but there's a reason why. You know, there's a reason why for that. So if you're in the lower level ranks and you're trying to build to be an upper level, if you're in multiple companies and you don't seem to be able to rank high, you can't get high in any one of those companies, I'm going to probably use my experience here and tell you that it's because you're in multiple companies. If you chose one company that you loved the best and that you really want to represent and that you want to really go for it, I guarantee you would find success. If you took all that energy that you're putting into all the different companies and you put it into one, you would probably rise higher to the top in that one. And my reasoning for that and my thoughts around that is because I'm in a build all over again. I was in a company for 9 years. I know what it took to get there. And I went to the top. I was number one in all of Canada for 7 years. I stayed there. Well, one, I wouldn't be allowed to be in multiple companies, but in my climb, in my build, if I was splitting my focus into 2 different teams, 2 separate companies, 2 separate everything, I probably would have lost my mind, for one. And for 2, there's no way I would have risen in any one of those companies. I wouldn't have been able to go up. There's no possible way that you can do it. I just don't think you can do it.
There's a good chance you lose your mind just doing one.
Tim says there's a good chance you'll lose your mind just doing one. But, you know, and I'm not saying this to be like negative or bad. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people really want to make it in network marketing. And so they join a bunch of different companies, hoping they're going to get to the top in one of them. And when I see that, I'm like, I don't think that they're going to rise to a top level if they're in a bunch of them, because you need to build a team. You need to build a team to get to the top. That's the way network marketing works. It's multi-level marketing. You need your levels. You need your leaders. And for you to spend how much time, Teresa, how much time do I breathe into you guys daily? Tim and I work with you guys on the daily, right? To help you guys work your businesses. Can you imagine right now, because I'm only a mid-level leader right now in our new company. I'm not at the top of this company yet. Can you imagine if I was spending time with you guys and then I'm over there spending time with another team, trying to build another team somewhere else? I'm doing the same thing over here as I am over there. Can you imagine? I can't imagine it. And I think that the people that are in multiple companies, I don't think they have their leader switch on. They're not thinking of it as being a leader. I think people that are in multiple companies are just thinking of it as being a seller. You're a representative. You sell for this company. 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 In my experience, the retail sales are one portion of the comp plan. In my experience, I've been in network marketing for 27 years. The last 10 years or 9 years, I was literally the top of Canada. And so I'm just saying, with my experience, I forget what I just said. What did I just say?
No, I'm checking in our flights.
Tim's just checking our flights. I just personally think that I just think the people that are in multiple ones are looking at it through a lens of being a salesperson. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying everything's okay, actually. Everything's okay. Everyone do what they want to do. But I do get people asking me about being successful. They ask all the time about, you know, how do you be successful in network marketing? And I'm like, choose one that you love and go for it. So this is going to breathe into company hopping. So, because there's going to be so much debate around this topic, because before I was in my last company, I was in at least 10 different companies. And Timmy here didn't want me to do my last company. He was like, nobody's going to trust you. You sold everything under the sun. Like, there's no way you're going to succeed in this one. Like, what are you doing? He was so mad when I told him I was doing it again. And I said, well, no, I believe in these products. They're brand new. It's a new company. It's right from the beginning. Like, I know this is good timing. I saw what I saw. I said, I'm doing this. I originally joined for discount, but when he said no, then I was like, well, here's the facts. So I'm going to go for it. So I did, and then I succeeded, and that was great. And then now I'm not there, and I'm in a new one. So, you know, I could lose trust with people, leaving one to the other. There is that trust factor. People might go, well, you were all about this other one for 9 years. Like, all of a sudden you're for this one. So how am I supposed to trust you? Well, you know, over time, I'll gain your trust because you'll see what I'm sharing and talking about. But I do know a lot of people will talk about and say, I've sold everything. Like, you know, I'm scared to join a new one because my network is like sick of me talking about new things. And I get it, because I was there. However, if you really do believe in something and you really feel the way you feel, no one can tell you your feelings are wrong. They're your feelings to have. And if you see something and you believe in it and you really think it's better for you, you need to follow your journey. You need to honor your path. So I don't think company hopping is bad. I don't, because I do believe people need to find a journey. I company hopped for 10 years. I was in 10 different companies before I found my hit, because I felt it in my bones. I felt it more so because I wanted to prove him wrong.
Okay, $1 million question.
What?
Let me ask you something.
What? Oh God, here we go. I'm scared. What?
No, I'm thinking and I'm reflecting what you're saying.
Okay.
So, if you're with a company, how do you discern from... Roll up your window. A truck is really loud beside me.
Okay.
How do you discern, when you're in a company, how do you discern from being someone who's going and running towards the next shiny thing to, you know, spark your interest again, versus making an intelligent business transition?
How do you discern that?
Yeah, I think
I know. If you're running to the next shiny thing, it's because you're following other people. Making discernment comes from your heart and your feelings, not someone else's
following
things.
Other people's okay, because you might have the same reason.
If your reason's the same as them, but if you're just following something shiny because everyone's like, oh, I'm going over here, me too. If that's just you following other people and following the shiny. There's something shiny, I'm going to run after it. But if you actually feel in your heart, it's like, if something's shiny and new over there, but you actually understand and know what you're doing and believe in it, that's different. I think that's totally different.
Okay, that's a good point.
Because one is you're following other people's feelings, the other one's you're following your own.
True. And I guess my point that I was thinking about as I was saying it was the difference between chasing the next shiny thing versus making an intelligent, you know, business transition would be the fact that if your company is the same company as when you started for the same reasons. Like your reasons for joining the company can change, for starters.
And also the company can change to make your...
the company can change. So,
yes, that too.
So the company you started with may not be the same company they are now.
Right. The company you started with may not be the company you joined. Or it's not the same company. The company now might be different than it was when you joined. So the reasons for you joining, the reasons why you were there, if that changed and you don't align with it anymore and you want change, then that's valid.
But also it could be also, like you said, it could be a change with yourself too.
Well, people can change too. People can change.
Your values and your objectives can change. Therefore, what you offer and how you offer it can change.
Absolutely. People change. So companies change. That's a good point. But people change too. And for me, the person I was 9 years ago, I'm not the same person. And I unaligned with the company, and it could be I could blame the company. I could blame myself. It doesn't matter. For me, I was unaligned. So I wanted to find something I aligned with and I felt better with. And so that was my reasoning. It wasn't about chasing a shiny thing. I know people like to throw that term out there because everyone else is going blah, blah, blah. It's like, for me, I didn't look at pharmacy and go, I need to go to pharmacy because everyone's going over there. It was actually pharmacy was brought to this guy. I didn't even think about pharmacy. Timmy, let's throw that out there. Little fun fact. Timmy brought pharmacy to me. How you like them apples? That's a twist. That's a fun fact twist. Isn't that funny?
I just brought it up.
He just brought it up. He got the ball rolling.
Well, I wasn't going to talk specifics, but
you don't have to, but yeah.
But yeah, for our new company versus our old company, the new company checked all the boxes that you were missing over time.
Yeah, that I was expressing.
The boxes that were checked off in the beginning are no longer checked off, and the new company checked those off for you.
Yes, exactly. But we're not talking about that. So a couple of things I want to say is, one, people who are in multiple companies, either A, for being salespeople, or B, building business. So if you're in multiple companies at the same time, thoughts around that, because I think there's a difference. I do think there's a difference when people are in multiple companies at one time. I think there's a different mentality that they have.
Oh, for sure. And if I can add my 2 cents worth on that.
Yes, please do, now that you're done working over there. I don't think I can put this here.
That's fine. So I don't think, my personal opinion is you can't do 2. You can't do more than one because...
As a salesperson though? Even 2?
No, okay, so this is...
Because I was talking about builder and seller.
Okay, I know, builder and seller, but I think that's a good distinction. But I think the reason why... some people just want to be sellers, so that might be true. I can't think that way because that's not me.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons why is because when people get into a company and they grow or they sell within their warm circle,
they can only sell so much, and then they need a new thing.
Right. So once it gets so far with their warm circle, they only have 2 options: to find something else to sell to the warm circle because they're too nervous or too scared to expand their circle because that's the uncomfortable zone.
Mm-hmm.
To become a leader, you have to be comfortable because you have to grow your audience. You have to grow your network. So once you sell your thing to the people that you're exposed to, the only thing you have next is either to expand that network, which is uncomfortable, or change or not change,
offer
or to offer
else.
an additional thing to that same network. And the reason why that's not going to work is because if you're not expanding your network and you're still using your same customer base, yes, you're going to increase your sales, but not like double. Like say if I offer widget A to my network, and I think I'm going to increase my sales by offering widget B, it's not going to work. You might get, say if you sell a handful of stuff here, you're only going to increase your sales by a margin. Mm-hmm. You're not going to double.
You're not going to make more money. You're going to...
These same people are not going to be interested as equally into this product. Mm-hmm. And if you offer an option C, you may even sell even less of that product. And then by the time you've spread yourself so thin over 3 or 2 or plus items, you only have 24 hours a day. And that's one thing we realize as builders, not sellers, but as builders, you only have 24 hours a day. 8 hours is for sleeping, 16 hours is what you got.
Can you high five Tony right now? He's asking.
What? I can't
Tony's
see
giving you a high five. There
Can't
you
see
go.
it. Yeah, there's a little shine on my Amy's phone. So, yeah.
So that's a really good
I mean,
point.
could you imagine if we thought we were going to diversify? Like right now, we offer skincare, makeup, whatever, and then all of a sudden there's this like financial direct sales, and I'm like, hey, I'll do that one, and we'll do this one.
Yeah.
Now we have 2 sets of customers, 2 sets of teams, 2 sets of trainings, 2 sets of Zoom.
I couldn't do. You guys, I can't. But you're also thinking of it as a leader brain too.
As a leader, sorry.
Because like so yeah. So we're just because there is two distinct. And I know the people that watch this video that are in multiple companies. I want to make sure that they feel heard and seen too, and not judged against them, because I come from a leader brain. So my leader brain is like, I really don't think you can be a high level leader in multiple companies. Well, for one, once you get to a certain level, you're not allowed to do multiple companies. Most times, most companies will make you choose at some point.
Even if they're not competing, you have to.
Yeah, you have to choose. So if you're somebody therefore, people that are in multiple companies, they're most likely not high level leaders or they're not leaders. They're just there for being sellers.
Can I address the sellers then?
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, because I sound a little harsh against the sellers.
Yeah.
So if you are offering more than one item, I'm based on the fact that of growth. Like I want to be able to sell 100% of this, 100% of this, 100% of this. And I said, your margin of return, it gets less with the more you offer.
Right.
But that may be okay for some. Like,
well, no judgment.
Maybe someone has a full-time job and they just want that extra income. And then by adding another thing, just adds that little bit more. And the other thing adds just a little more. It really depends on your goals and your objectives.
That's what I said in the very beginning. I said, what do you want the company to do?
What I will say to them in terms of that, which I don't think is too judgmental, is the fact that it is limited. Whether you look at it as a positive or a negative, or if that's exactly what you want, it is limited.
Well, you only have so much of you. There's only so much of you to go around, and to have all these different offerings, it's hard. I think as a leader, building in network marketing, like, picking one and focusing on it is like the best thing you can do if you want the best chance of rising to the top through the ranks. It's just focus on one. That's how I think.
It's tough. There's so many variables, because I was just thinking as you're saying that, because if you did want to take the leadership route, I'm thinking, well, okay, what could we tell them to look for? But you can't look for one thing, because you have to look at the integrity of the company, like the company structure, how long they've been around, what's their main focus,
the reputation, their
projection of growth, all that stuff.
All the things.
And then you have to look at the actual product. I mean, that is what you're selling. I've heard people peddle stuff and say it's not about the product, it's about the compensation plan.
No, it's about the product. Like, I mean, it's about the compensation plan, obviously, but at the end of the day, you're selling a product.
So right there, you already you can't choose between company and product. You have to have both. And guess what? There's actually a third component. There's leadership. I never put much weight into that in the last company, because you were the leadership.
I emerged as the leader.
You were the leadership, so you had emerged as a leader. But it's also good to look at the leadership. So if you are someone new, or if you are someone who is fairly new or intermediate, you may also want to look with your leadership. The leadership does not define you, but it can be a catalyst to your success.
I do find, honestly, I feel like limitless in our new company with the leadership that we have up the lines. I love so much what our uplines do and how they do it. Essentially, for us, we could plug anyone into, like, they have systems and operations happening, like, it is like a well-oiled machine that they have. It is amazing. And anyone can plug into them anywhere down the lines. You don't have to be direct to them. Anyone in their lines can take advantage of the well-oiled machine. And so if you're somebody that wants to be a leader but just, needs time leverage, like, you can plug your team into their stuff. And, like, it just goes. You can also, for me, because our upline, they're all USA, So for me, I like to try to be the one to help kind of be the Canadian touch point, right? Because we've now emerged as number 2 in Canada right now in the company. We are number 2. And so we want to make sure that we are like the Canadian touch point for our team, right? So we are establishing our stuff based on what they do, but we can still plug people in all they want. And we have stuff going on for our Canadians as well. But
I don't know if you touched on it, but in terms of leadership, it actually breaks down 2 components. In leadership, what you're looking for is, do they have systems, as you just mentioned?
Oh my gosh, systems.
About being plugged in.
Game changer, you guys. Game changer.
But that's just one of 2 things you have to look for. It's important to have systems, but you also have to have a good point of contact.
Yes.
So if you're going to join a business because they have great systems, but the leader that you're joining with doesn't have time for you, or you're
not connected into the core group or anything.
You may not be connected. So you have to find that personal connection with systems in leadership. I think it's a 2-part.
Yeah, I think being a good leader, because we can't do it all ourselves. A good leader knows how to delegate. They know how to plug people in and get people going, right? Like, it's not about doing it all yourself. I've learned that as a leader, because I used to think I had to do everything myself, and I'm telling you, a good leader knows
to
delegate and to effectively lead the masses with, systems and operations. And yeah, I've learned so much in my last 27 years. The last 10 years was such a really awesome boot camp for me, I feel, because this time around in this new company, I feel that we're progressing faster in this company than we did in the last. I don't want to
double.
We're literally moving at a double pace. So, which is really exciting. So I don't want to compare, but I'm just saying what's happening
For us.
For our personal journey of what's happening is that when you look at the first 6 months, the first year of our last company, the amount that we made, the team members we had, the rate we were growing, we are doubling that pace right now. We're only been here 6 months, and we've already doubled where we were at in the last company, the first 6 months.
It's not reflective of the companies. It's reflective of our experience.
It's not reflective of the company. It's like what we bring to the table now that we know what we're doing with the experience we have, and
we're doing it together.
We're doing it together now. You're right. Now we're doing it. We're actually approaching it from the start together, and that is, I can't tell you how much of a godsend that is. As Tim and I doing this every day.
A godsend? Me?
You're funny. I was telling Tim this the other day. I said, do you know how amazing this is? Because when we drove to Moncton, I said, Tim, we're doing this together. I said like 9 years ago, you're not, you are.
I'm not.
Okay.
I said, make me.
It's fine. I mean, I want it, but if you don't want to go, that's fine. So like 9 years ago, it would have been me driving myself, or getting a couple of girls and going myself. Like and he would have stayed home. This time we drove together. We drove to PEI for an event. I mean, yes, we did take the family sometimes, and we went, across Canada and did some family trips. We did that. But I'm just saying, on the daily, operating our business, Tim and I have found ways that we do different tasks to help the business operate every day. Like, for example, Tim heavily takes care of customer service. Everyone makes their ticket, for help, and then if 24 hours goes by, whatever, you send a ticket. Anyways, we have a system with dealing with customer service issues in our team, and it works really well. We have systems for everything, when it comes to training, when it comes to whatever we're doing, events. Like, Tim very heavily takes care of the event planning, the trip plannings, and all those things, because I can't even look at that stuff, but I do other things, so we totally take aspects of our business and we share it, and it's been a blessing. And so there's many factors as to why it's been doubling, but I'm going to go back to the whole core of what this conversation was about. Can you imagine, A, Tim was at another company while I'm trying to build this company, or B, we had another company going at the same time we're doing this company? Couldn't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. If you're a builder, I believe you need to pick one that you're going to build in. And it's not to say you have to give up your other companies to be consumers. I know a lot of people have accounts to be a consumer and they want the discount. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about building. If you're going to build, pick one. And what you need to look for is the products first, What products do you believe in the most, you're most confident with, you love? Pick the one that you really want to niche into, that you really want to just share and love and celebrate, because that's the one you're going to be going for. And then look at the company itself, the reputation, the history, look into the company itself. Okay, sorry, we're driving now, so we're losing reception on the highway. But yeah, just look for the company, look for, do you believe in the company, what it stands for, at the corporate level, at the core of its values, the product offerings, things like that. Like, really look at that. Look at your leadership. Who is your uplines? Who's your support system? Are they active? Are they supportive? Are they just bringing people in and then leaving them? What is your upline support look like? Are they very active on social media? Do they offer trainings? Like, are they plugging you in? Like, things like that. What else would you say? So if you're looking to pick one company, yes, keep your other ones for discount, but if you're going to build in one and you need to choose, what can people think about when they're making that choice?
Well, just a few things: the company itself, the product, and the leadership. I can't think anything past those three.
Yeah, that's good.
But I would like to add, we're kind of still dismissing the sellers. I still think, even if you're a seller, doing multiple products is not where it's at if you're looking to make money, because you're only looking to sell other things other than your principal thing, because you think of it as a way to sell more things to the same amount of people. You got to get out of your comfort zone and expand your network.
Yeah.
If you want to be a seller, that's great, but sell that one product to many people instead of selling many products to few people.
I do think that's a valid point that Tim said, because I do know the pattern, because I did it in 10 different companies. I would join a company, sell to my family and friends. I would quit. I would join another company, sell to my family and friends, and then I'd quit. And that was the pattern I did. But I didn't do them all at the same time. I just did them back to back. But a lot of people will just collect a bunch of companies. They're going to join this company and this company. They're going to sell because they're going to sell to their family and friends, and they don't expand their network, because that's where it gets uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable, even if you're just going to be a salesperson, because you need to be good at selling that one thing, or that one company's things that you sell. Because, for example, our company, we have 4 different categories. We have skincare, hair care, wellness, makeup. We have it all here. Like, we even have fragrances, we've got so much stuff here.
Oh, that's great too. That's a good point.
I couldn't even imagine.
Can sell multiple things within the same company.
Yes, if you find a company that has all the categories in one spot,
because you don't
have to join a bunch of different companies and sell all the things, right?
Because you could be one of those people who, and I know there is 1 or 2 that I can think off the top of my head that sell an exclusive makeup brand, but then they also sell an exclusive hair care brand, and they also sell an exclusive, they may sell an exclusive wellness brand. Right. We have all 3.
But we have everything here. So that's why I particularly really love where we're at here in pharmacy, because pharmacy has all the categories. You don't have to spread yourself thin. So anything you do to build your business on the daily, talking about products, talking about opportunity, everything you do, it's all going to grow you in this one company, which will help raise you up. But if, like you were joining a bunch of different companies to do, satisfy all the different categories, I just can't see you rising to the top in any one of them. You'll make sales, you will, but I don't know. Imagine if you were part of somebody's team and they were leading 3 other teams. So how much time would they have for you, right? Or if you join somebody under somebody, you bought from somebody, and then they're selling a bunch of other things. It's like, oh, but what about the thing you sold me? I don't know. I don't know. I have feelings about it. I don't judge people. I just have personal feelings about it.
I have a bonus point to that.
What?
You're like, what? A lot of people will jump product to product too, because they're looking for the next hype product. Mm-hmm. And what I find in terms of salesmanship is that you put the hype into the product.
Yes.
Whereas people who are flip-flopping on, say if you joined, I don't want to throw out names, but the old days when you had one product and you jumped to the next product. Perhaps you were looking for different hype. You're looking for the hype around the product that it would sell itself. When I noticed, if you look at a real good salesperson, or a builder or grower, any of it, they're the ones who put the hype into the product. They believe in the product so much that they put the hype into it.
Right. A lot of people are looking for the next quickest thing because it's like, oh, this will sell itself, and you don't have to do as much work. That's totally false. And here's another point that I wanted to say exactly about that, is that a lot of people, for me, when I joined my last company, a lot of people said, I wish I got in when you did, you were the first. And a lot of people will use that as leverage to sell what they're selling, to be like, be the first, be the first. But I can tell you right now, I'm not the first here in pharmacy. I came in 3 years later. It's launched 3 years ago, and I'm already number 2 in Canada 6 months in, right? So that's a false belief, because people would say that to me. Oh, you're only where you're at because you were the first one to get in back in the day. I'm like, okay, well, here I am in pharmacy 6 months in, and I'm number 2, right? So that's false. It was me that did the work. I understood the comp plan. I love the products, and I worked to do it, right? So that's a false belief. So a lot of people will join multiple companies because if something new comes out, they jump on that to be like, oh, ground floor, let's do it. And then they're hoping they'll get it. So they just follow that pattern, when it's in reality, if they just stayed put with one thing that they're with, and believe in it and go for it, they will probably do just as well. So anyway, that was our thoughts around this topic. We're not judging. There's no judgment. We're not throwing that out there. It wasn't about that. We just had thoughts around it. I thought I wanted to discuss it because it is something that people ask us a lot about. And it's something that comes up often. And I was like, hey, let's openly talk about this and share our thoughts. So we gotta go. We're gonna lose reception again, and we gotta get back on the highway, pick up the kids. So have a great day, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Bye. Bye, Timmy.
Oh, bye.